All right, thank you so much. Rev Run, my name is Kenny Williams. I'm a journalist for Forbes Black, and I'm a fan, so it's really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I wanted to start out by asking, again, thank you for the opportunity, but I want to start out by asking, could you speak to the significance of debuting the docuseries now at this point in time? Because we've been waiting as fans, so what was
Uh-huh.
important about this moment?
I think it's all serendipity. I mean, it started as a conversation maybe 2, 3 years ago. It just happened to come out the time during the 50th year of hip hop. I know the 50th year of hip hop just passed by, but it's just like all right after the Yankee Stadium performance of 50th year that it came out. So there was no significance. I didn't chase a time. It's all a miracle. So I put it in God's hands. He makes things happen, and I leave it in His hands because I can't never figure out nothing no more. I just like what's gonna happen. I don't know. I'm not lying. I used to have felt like I had more control. I feel like I have less control in life now. That's the truth. And it's okay, but it keeps me in prayer because, everything is so, you don't know what's going to happen these days. You just don't. You can, there's a saying, you plan, God laughs.
Yes, I love that. It's true too. That's so true. And I want to ask you for my second question, as one of the executive producers of the docuseries, what are some of the key takeaways that you just really want viewers to take away from this?
Just the history. When I think about the documentary, I think about you want to know if you're younger than me, how did this thing start? What happened? Did it start on Hollis or it started in Bronx or did it start here or did you start in D's basement or was it in the alley? I want them to feel the vibe of turntables being brought out on the block. I want them to know I used to be the son of Curtis Blow. I want them to feel um, the block. I want them to understand where hip hop came from and how it became where it's at today. But you need to smell and feel the beginning. So that's my hope is that you can feel the essence of how this thing happened.
And Rev Run, what I appreciate about this is y'all are telling y'all story on your own term. And we've seen a lot of legends do the same, whether it's Janet Jackson and her documentary or docuseries, and just other people just telling their own stories. So I want to ask you for this question. What was so important? Not what, but why was it so important for y'all to reunite and say, hey, we're about to tell our own story on our own terms?
Um, I don't know if it was so much about saying it's on our own terms. There's a lot of hands that's in it. The story kind of tells itself. Like, okay, first we put out Sucker MCs, then we played Live Aid, and then we put out My Adidas, and an Adidas deal was made. So it kind of like told itself. So on its own terms, there are no terms. What happened happened, and every kind of played out, and it's right there for everybody to see. Even if we didn't put it together, it was already put together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Kind of there.
Yeah. I'm excited. I saw a little bit of it and I want to tell my family and friends so bad, but I know about the embargo, so I can't wait for them to see it. And I have to ask you, you talked a little bit about the 50th anniversary of hip hop. And, just as hip hop has evolved and grown up, I feel like you have grown up with hip hop simultaneously right next to it. So I want to ask you, could you speak to how Run DMC's legacy, plays a part in the 50th anniversary of hip hop and its legacy?
And one guy said earlier, which is interesting to me, that Run DMC is not old school, they're new school. And the reason why he said it is because there was things before me. There was Grandmaster Flash. There was Grandmaster Caz and the Cold Crush Brothers. There was things that were happening before Run DMC. So when I think about all 50 years, we didn't come into 40 years. We wasn't there when Cool Herc first came out in the Bronx. I mean, if it was 73, I was only 9 years old. I wasn't quite there yet. So, the whole thing about 50 years is we came in at a time where records were just starting to get made, but there was some good stuff happening before those records were made.
And for my last question, I know you booked and busy with interviews, but for my last question, I want to talk about your legacy with fashion and your influence in that as well. So outside of your influence on hip hop, Run DMC, y'all have also had this really big influence on fashion. Like you're wearing Adidas now. I wore that same outfit a few years ago too, but you couldn't even tell the difference that it was something that I had we would have picked up from y'all because it's still current and trending. So I want to ask you, looking back, did you think that those looks that y'all have made so iconic, did y'all think that they would be as influential and iconic today?
It's just streetwear. You know what I'm saying? When Run DMC put on an Adidas suit, everybody else had on one when where I was from. If you put on a pair of Sheltos, a pair of Pumas, or this hat or whatever, it was not so much I was trying to influence something. I was just giving on the record Adidas is we took the beat from the street and put it on TV. So when you looked at Run DMC, you're looking at the streets. That's it. No, I didn't think it was going to last, not last. And none of that was on my mind. Like, we're going to do something that's going to be iconic. No, we're going to put on what everybody else is rocking in the streets. And that's how we're doing our show. We're going to hop on the stage. We're going to be dressed like ourselves. When you saw Run DMC, you saw yourself. And that's the key to Run DMC. You see yourself.
The
Normal,
relatability.
right. Just ourselves.
Well, Rev Run, thank you again for this opportunity. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
God bless, my brother.